That's on me. I'm sorry. No attacks. If our bird survives... No, that's just game. We forced their discard at least. Oh, it was a Woe Strider. Full control. Oh, we were too slow. Hello, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ghouls and goblins. Welcome back to another episode of Hello Good Game. Previously, we played the Dimir Polar Vortex, taking advantage of a triple turn through Teferi and Alrund. This was a ton of fun. If you haven't seen that video, I really encourage that you check it out. I'll have a link in the description below. Today, however, we have something just as special. Bant enchantments revolving around Calix Destiny's Hand and Vorinclex Monstrous Raider. This is a very aggressive mid-range deck that can immediately apply massive amounts of value over and over again. Let's take a look at the deck and break it down. But before we do, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help support the channel. You can go ahead financially as well if you're Scrooge McDuck on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, by purchasing your day-to-day goods through our Amazon link and any Magic the Gathering Arena codes through our Grey Vikings link as well. Everything you'll be looking for today, whether it's the 500,000 gem giveaway, our free cash prize monthly tournaments, Brawl and Artisan, which are on MTG Melee, or the 100 one-on-one coaching sessions that also comes with a cash prize. These links are all found within my link tree. Google Hello Good Game link tree to find out more. Of course, they're also in the description if you're savvy. Let's break down the Birth of Calinclex, a Bant enchantment-based deck, right now. Alrighty, we are in the client. Let's take a look at the deck. 4.1 average converted mana cost, 6 creatures, 30 non-creatures. We have 24 land, plus a few MDFCs to help us through the hard times. The deck revolves around Calix Destiny's Hand, a ton of enchantments, and of course, Vorinclex Monstrous Raider. We do have Archon of Sun's Grace as the meat and potatoes in the deck to help us survive until our ultimate ability. Let's break down the deck list, and then we'll talk about strategies, synergies, get into the gameplay footage, look at our playlines and interactions, and then wrap up with our closing thoughts. Again, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help support the channel. Starting out with our 2-drops, we have Glass Casket, an artifact. When it enters play, exile target creature an opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or less until the casket leaves the battlefield. This is really nice for taking care of any threats that your opponent may have early game. Something that comes to mind is Annex, right? We can exile Annex. Satyr tokens are no longer a possibility. And you know, that's just the start. We could be taking Soaring Thought Thieves. The list goes on and on and on. Basically, any creature that is providing value to your opponent or that is threatening you in a way that you won't be able to deal with throughout the rest of the game. This is what Glass Casket is really meant for. Moving on now, 3 copies of Wolf Willow Haven, an enchantment. When it enters play, enchant a land we control. The enchanted land will tap for an additional forest. We can pay 5 to sacrifice it, creating a 2/2 wolf only on our turn, right? So your opponent is going to have the ability to remove that on their turn. But again, if you flood out, and this is better than a top deck. Moving on now, 3 copies of Mazemind Tome for 2 as well, our last 2-drop. We tap it to add a page counter, scrying for 1. We can pay 2 to tap it, adding a page counter, drawing a card. Once there have been 4 page counters accumulated, sacrifice it, gain 4 life. This will really make our draw more consistent, whether we're looking for a land, removal spell, ramp, you know, just some general draw. It's going to help us get there at an expedited rate, whether it be through the scry or through the draw. It also helps us against any aggro matchups through the life gain when it's sacrificed. I forgot to mention why the Wolf Willow is so good. It's for ramp, right? We have a lot of heavy converted mana costs in the deck. We seen our average was 4.1. So we want to get up to 4 and higher than 4 as soon as we can. The quicker we can get there, the quicker we can worry about stabilizing. With all of our 2-drops now out of the way, let's discuss our 3-drops. 3 copies of Raven's Warning. This is a enchantment saga. When it enters play, create a 1/1 blue bird with flying and gain 2 life. On our next draw step, whenever 1 or more creatures you control with flying deal combat damage to a player this turn, draw a card and look at their hand. This is amazing. Obviously, card advantage through a draw. Plus, we get to see what our future turns will entail by looking at our opponent's hand. This is quite nice, and we can begin to plan for the future. Finally, you may put a card you own from outside the game on top of your library. Of course, we have a full Raven board for you guys to take a look at today. We'll get to that after we finish with the main board. Moving on to our last 3-drop, Banishing Light. We have 3 copies of this. It's an enchantment. When Banishing Light enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. Very similar to Glass Casket. However, it can hit anything, not just a creature, with converted mana cost 3 or less. It's great for hitting planeswalkers, for hitting other enchantments and artifacts. Moving now into our 4-drops, we have 4 copies of our Archon of Sun's Grace, a 3/4 with flying and lifelink. Pegasi creatures we control have lifelink as well. It has Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under our control, create a 2/2 white Pegasi creature token with flying. Of course, the Archon is a 3 power, 4 toughness creature as base value. Again, very nice against any aggro decks through the life gain. It will also provide us, enough field presence to kind of slow it all down a bit. We can start chump blocking while gaining life and draw out the game, which is really what we're looking forward to doing. We talked about Calix being in the deck, 4 mana, 4 loyalty when he enters, +1. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an enchantment card from among them and put that card into your hand, and then put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. This is really nice. However, it can be tricky. There is some conflict here between Calix, Destiny's Hand, and the Raven's Warning. This conflict can be easily turned into synergy if Raven's Warning is taking an enchantment from your sideboard on top of your library, and Calix's plus ability will then draw that card immediately into your hand. However, the downside to that interaction is if you are pulling an instant, a sorcery, a creature, an artifact, anything that's not an enchantment, now you cannot use Calix's ability. Raven's Warning triggers before you are able to use the ability. So you may get stuck for a turn using a -3 or just not doing anything. However, pulling from your sideboard is still more of an advantage than a single turn on a planeswalker. It's still in play. You still have the chance to potentially minus. With that being covered, where we're really starting to have fun within the deck, -7, return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. We have a full deck of enchantments, and that's going to help us win the game on the spot, much like Dance of the Matswood. We did forget to mention -3, exile target creature or enchantment you don't control until the enchantment you control leaves the battlefield. So you're exiling a creature or enchantment that we don't control, and we're basically putting it under one of our own enchantments, which is pretty cool. And if that enchantment leaves play, they're going to get that exiled card back, much like Banishing Light would do. Moving on, we have 2 copies of Doomskar at sorcery speed, our first 5-drop. Destroy all creatures, foretell for 3 mana. Foretell means that we can pay 2 mana to exile it face down from our hand, allowing us to cast it later at the same speed of the spell, whether it be instant, sorcery, flash, or the foretell cost. Sometimes you get a reduction in cost, other times, you're able to just keep it the same, and I think even some cards are more expensive. In this case, Doomskar stays the same. You pay 2 and then it costs 3 for a total of 5 still, but you get it out of your hand. It's safe now from discard effects, right? Stuff like this. 3 copies of Elspeth Conquers Death, another saga. When it enters play, exile target permanent and opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or less. On our next draw step, non-creature spells your opponent casts cost 2 more to cast until our next turn. And finally, return a creature or planeswalker card from our graveyard to the battlefield, putting a +1/+1 counter or a loyalty counter on it, depending. This is great for bringing back our Archon of Sun's Grace. It's great for bringing back Calix. And we also have Vorinclex that it can snag as well. Very high value grabs for us. Again, the removal through exile is also extremely valuable on our opponent's permanents. Plus, it triggers the Archon, and we can bring it back from the grave once it self-sacrifices, because it is a saga, through Calix's -7 ability. Moving on now to some of the heavier cards. We have 3 copies of Shark Typhoon. This is a 6/6 enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. Obviously, all of the enchantments in the deck are non-creature spells, which will trigger the sharks. That's great. Even better than that, whenever you cycle Shark Typhoon, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, cycling for 2+X. We can cycle Shark Typhoon, make the shark, plug up the field, right? Stop it, maybe get a chump blocker. Next up, you know, it's in our grave because we cycled it. Then we can use Calix's minus ability to replay it as a free hard cast. And that's really the bread and butter of what we're looking to do. So cycle Shark Typhoon, and then Calix Ultimate, bring it back into play. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We now have 2 copies of Vorinclex Monstrous Raider, a 6/6 with trample and haste. If you would put 1 or more counters or emblems on an opponent, or a permanent and opponent controls, double that amount. And if your opponent would try to put them on you or a permanent they control, you're going to half that amount. So if it's +1, they don't get any. If it's +2, they get 1. If we're doing +1, we get +2, right? So it doubles what we do and it halves what they do. 2 copies of Emeria's Call for 7, creating 2 4/4 white angel warrior creature tokens with flying. Other non-angels gain indestructible until our next turn. The Bolt land as the Shattered Skyclave, coming in tapped unless we pay 3 life as well. Finally, and certainly not least, is Kyora Best the Sea God, another enchantment saga. When it enters play, create a blue 8/8 Kraken with hexproof. Next up, tap all non-land permanents that target opponent controls. They don't untap during their controller's next untap step. Absolutely amazing. And finally, gain control of target permanent and opponent controls. Untap it. This is going to win games for us, right? It's a good blocker. It shuts down our opponent's blockers, and we can attack with everything we have, and then we even get something of theirs, which is really quite cool. And again, we can replay it with Calix. 2 plains, 3 islands, 3 forests, 2 Hengegate Pathways, 2 Boulderloft Branchloft Pathways, 2 Barkchannel Pathways, 4 Indatha Triomes, 4 Rogran Triomes, and 2 Fabled Passages to round out the deck. We have a sideboard, a single copy of Negate, 2 converted mana, instant speed, counter target non-creature spell. This stops Ugin, it stops ultimatums, it stops anything that you don't want to happen to you that's not creature-based. Sorceress Spyglass, you know, this can shut down planeswalkers. One of my favorite planeswalkers to shut down right now is Tibalt. So annoying, and we don't have access to it, so let's stop it from doing anything. As it enters play, look at the opponent's hand. We get to pick a card, and activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So, you know, just a great way to shut down our opponent's deck. We also have the Weathered Runestone for 2 mana as another artifact. Non-land permanent cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. Players can't cast spells from graveyards and libraries. So take note on this, because we are looking to have permanents re-enter from the graveyard, right? Whether it be through Calix, whether it be through Elspeth Conquers Death, that's kind of what we're looking to do. However, other decks do that better than us. We can get the Runestone, we can shut down, you know, a sacrifice deck, for example. Moving on, we do have a single copy of the Midnight Clock against mill decks, an artifact for 3, tap for blue mana, pay 3, add an hour counter. An hour counter is also added organically each player's draw phase. And finally, when you have 12 hour counters assembled, exile it, shuffle your graveyard and hand into your library, draw 7 cards. Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis, really good against some of those aggro matchups for 4 loyalty, 4 converted mana, 5 loyalty, sorry, -1, up to 2 target creatures you control each get +2/+1 until the end of turn. This could be good on our life gain Pegasi, right? Now they're 4 3s, gaining us 8 life. Not bad. We also have -2 to create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. Probably not using this ever. And then -3, you gain 5 life. In emergency scenarios, we can do this. We can also replay it from the grave for 6, plus exiling 4 other cards from our grave. A single copy of Shatter the Sky for 4 mana at sorcery speed. Each player who controls a creature with power 4 or greater draws a card, then destroy all creatures. Cosmos Elixir, an artifact for 4 at the beginning of your end step, draw a card if your life total is greater than your starting, otherwise gain 2 life. An additional Elspeth Conquers Death. Yorion, the Sky Nomad, because we have all of those enchantments, why not? I did not want to run it as the companion, and I did not want it main deck, but it is so busted that we had to include it. When it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-land permanents we own and control. Return those cards to the battlefield at the beginning of our next end step. 4 power, 5 toughness with flying. What more could you want? An additional Vorinclex, 2 All-Runs Epiphany for 7, Foretell for 6, at sorcery speed. Create 2 1/1 blue birds with flying, take an extra turn after this, and exile the Epiphany. A single Coma Cosmos Serpent, 6/6 can't be countered. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 3/3 blue serpent creature token named Coma's Coil. Sacrifice another serpent and choose 1. Tap target permanent. Its activated abilities cannot be activated this turn. That's actually quite nice to shut down our opponent's baddies. And then, of course, we can give it indestructible as well. So whether we're shutting down our opponent's permanents or we're grabbing indestructible to stay alive, the Coma Cosmos Serpent is going to get the job done. When in doubt, go Simic Ramp. And finally, 1 Ugin the Spirit Dragon. If everything gets away from us and we need the reset button, here it is. For 8 mana, 7 loyalty, +2/3 damage to any target. -X, exiling each permanent with converted mana cost 3 or less. That's 1 or more colors. And finally, -10. You gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, put 7 permanents from your hand into play. Woof, right? That's a thing. So that's our sideboard. We're utilizing that through the Raven's Warning. It puts it onto the top of our library. We have the Tome to draw it if it's a non-enchantment. If it's an enchantment, we have Calix to draw it. Of course, we want to get Vorinclex in play. That'll allow us to immediately use Calix's ultimate and bring back all of our enchantments from the grave into play. The Sea God, Elspeth, Banishing Light, the Raven's Warning, Shark Typhoon that we're cycling away, right? So there's a lot of really cool stuff there. And worst case scenario, go for Ugin, get the -10, and that will allow you to do all of that as well. Because you're going to get a Vorinclex, you're going to get a Calix in the -7 of, or -10 of Ugin, which will allow you to then replay everything from your graveyard again. So it kind of like is the dominoes effect, where it's like the first one falls, hits the second, and then it just kind of compounds on top of itself. That's the deck, you guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel to all of your friends and playgroups to help support. If you're Scrooge McDuck, go ahead financially on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, our Amazon, and our Grey Viking Games links. Whether you're buying your day-to-day goods through our Amazon or your Magic the Gathering arena codes through Grey Vikings, each purchase helps support. We also have exclusive content for our supporters, whether it be the VIP chat or, exclusive YouTube videos. As far as the deck strategies and synergies go, you want to make the match last as long as you can, unless you're playing against a hard control deck, in which case you do want to look for an out. The out is most easily assembled through Archon of Sun's Grace and the Pegasi, dealing lots of damage. Vorinclex will help as well. The Sharks can also, lend a hand or a fin. With that being said, if it's an aggro deck, you kind of want to play the control matchup. If it's a control matchup, you kind of want to play the aggro side of it, right? And that way you have the best of both worlds in one deck, access to your sideboard to protect you from whatever you run into. We have lots of draw, we have lots of life gain, we have lots of removal. It shouldn't be that hard. Our main objective, Calix's ultimate, utilized through Vorinclex to make it even easier. Flooding the field with Pegasi and Archon, getting into our sideboard, and really just winning the day. That's the deck. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel to all of your friends. Support financially Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, Amazon, Grey Viking Games. Download Magic the Gathering Arena Assistant for free if you're on Windows. Whether it be metagame analysis, your own deck statistics, your collection information. My favorite, the Deck Advisor, which looks at your personal collection and recommends decks for you to play based on your own collection so you don't have to spend wildcards. You see how it sorts it? Owned all cards. And then here, we're missing cards. So it will sort decks for you based on what you have. Of course, if you're new to the game, I've got a free-to-play playlist. 0 rares, 0 mythics, all competing within the top ranks of the game. Check it out. Of course, we are into our gameplay footage now. Thanks for your time and attention. I hope I didn't ramble too long. So much speaking. Cheers, you guys. Enjoy the matches, and we'll be back to wrap up in just a few. A little late to the recording button, but we are here. Vorinclex in hand. We are going to double down on the forest. Raven's Warning's up next. Oh, that's going to make a nice exile. Oh, wow. I guess let's just take it now. Snaggle. We don't have another 2-drop, though, unfortunately. But that way we're not taking any damage, and we don't have to chump block with our bird. It doesn't get to do anything like that. Indestructible creatures cost 1 less to cast. That is interesting. We are in play. Should we just take it? Probably. Your creatures are full price. I do want to get Raven's Warning out as soon as possible, right? That gives us access to a lot of goodies. So they've got another Yorbo. Oof. We keep pulling things that overpower our Raven's Warning. We'll get it out next turn, I promise. It shouldn't be a problem. Old Growth Troll is nice as well. Hot dog. And then a Horn Beetle. Maybe we just go Elspeth. We got to take care of Yorbo. That's a big body. It hits us this turn too. We're down to 14. But it comes right back, right? So we take the block up to 23. It's reinstated as a 4/5. Right, not that bad. We have 6 available mana. I can't afford to let this go. Vorinclex seems great right here, but again, let's just control the situation. It's gone. We make a 2/2. Again, this allows us to cycle our Archon to the grave, bring it back. Vivian is ultra annoying. We're at 6 mana. No attacks. They have reach. Yeah, Raven's Warning. Unfortunately, we don't have the mana to cast the second. They'll have to trade with the 3/3, which they'll do, right? They don't want to lose Vivian. But this is just going to gain us life And then we can take the damage straight to the chin and not worry about it because we've got it mitigated through just general life gain. Again, their back's against the wall. They can't remove it even though they want to because Elspeth Conquers Death will just bring it back into play. Reach is a must for them. They have a Garenbrig, so 6 available mana. And I don't think they've played a land, so it might be 7 available mana. Okay, here's the Serpent for 6. That's a good blocker. Huh. Let's trade with the troll, I guess. Take 5, gain 4. It's like we took 1. They get the ramp with 3 mana. I don't want to cycle the shark yet. That is a hard situation to be in right here. We have no attacks because of their serpent, right? It shuts us down. I think we'll be okay. I'm a little worried. Vivian's -2 would be a little bit hard to handle potentially. And that serpent shuts us down in a big way. But we're at 6 mana. We just need 1 more. Maybe I do cycle the Shark Typhoon. Another Horn Beetle. Ouch. They are tough. Let's cycle this for 1. Another Vorinclex. Block with the shark. Thoughts on Coma, right? 7 mana. I guess we don't have that either. The Cosmos Elixir could be good. I just Elspeth again, right? Calix goes out.
Place, interloper.
We just put it right into our hand.
Look skyward and receive
No blocks. Now their attention is to Calix, and we have that ECD to bring it back. I want Vorinclex to make an impact here, but our backs are way against the wall. I guess we could have taken our Shatter. Let's take Shatter with this one. Because they are out of cards. And they've gone full in. So will Elspeth, Vivian shatter the rest. Nice. This is a big potential hit. I mean, the Horn Beetle can attack, Yorvo can attack, the Serpent can attack, Questing Beast can attack. We can let some of the damage through. We do gain a lot of it back, right? Calix takes the chomp. We take our shatter. Take Vivian, get the chump blocker.
I hold grudges.
And we can't use Calix. Sadly. Everything can die this turn because we're shattering. Right? They played a land. So if we survive here, we've got a good chance to win. Right? Taking 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 19 damage, but we do gain 6 of it back. Woof. They clear out our field. We draw Shatter. They prematurely good gamed us. Uh-oh! So they could have Questing Beast, right? Now that's the downfall to this whole thing, is that they could have a Questing Beast in hand. The Gem Razor with no mutate target. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Watch this. Hello, good game. Always have a backup plan. I love getting the win off a premature good game. That is hot. Vorinclex, go! Smash for lethal, baby! Well, that escalated quickly. Oh, that shatter was so hot. Going first, you know, I'm not sure that we're ever going to beat that first match. That was great. Just getting beat down into oblivion. Get the hello good game right into a field wipe. Now that's satisfying. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. Playing tap so we don't pay life. A red card equals damage, and we don't want any of that. We have life gain through Raven's Warning. And then in our sideboard, we have life gain as well. Really? What is happening? I'm so confused. Okay, they're going to create some dwarfs. That's fine. Let's cycle for one. The cool thing about the Shark Typhoon is you cycle it, and then you can replay it later with Calix. But we're going to need to survive first. Hopefully the Archon can get us there. I have faith. Please survive. Please survive. Hey, that's a lot of dwarf tokens. Oh, nice. Okay, so we block one of them. We take 4 damage. That is a lot. And we can Calix minus. No attacks. I wish this was an enchantment, but whatever. We should be able to block the 1/1. Unless they have something, which they probably do. If they get our Archon here, that's GG's. It's still basically GG's. Wow. Elspeth conquers death off the top. Doomskar off the top. They have 4 cards in their hand still. Let's clean it up. Maybe it helps us. I don't know. They have a full mitt, which is really worrisome. Right? It's not like we're wiping out their whole hand. Nice. They're back at it again. Yeah, we really need the enchantments there. We could take a hit. Let's just try to dodge. You know, if we pull that 7th land, it could look a little bit friendlier for us. It's a lot of pressure. I don't think they have anything. No. Cool. Raven's Warning, go. Right, we get the 2/2 also with life gain, plus we gain 2 life. And now I'm going to start hitting, gaining even more life. Up to 17. Just in case they pass their turn. We have chump blockers, so that should be fine. Looking for that land. We need that 7th land. Take 3 damage, gain 2 life. Gaining field advantage. Calix in play. Take our plus. Banishing Light in hand. Not bad. They're down to 11. We're at 19. We get the card from the warning. We see their hand. They do have a Wrath, but that cleans out their field. We get our land. I'm going to keep Banishing Light because we know they're going to Wrath us. So we'll just kind of hold on to it. I didn't think we were going to make it out of that one. That was a crazy looking start. And they are just going for the damage. Interesting.
Is this pain?
Coma puts out infinity blockers. The 8/8 plus the 2/2 is really going to help us. We're not taking the plus here. Again, sometimes that can be awkward, but it's fine. It's fine, don't worry about it. Calix is still playable. With the right cards. Ooh. Again, we've got an 8/8. They tap out. They have Storm's Wrath they could use after this, I guess. And they make a massive amount of creatures. We'll gain our life, stop all the damage. Up to 22. And Storm's Wrath does nothing. Right, we get to keep our Kraken.
Forgive my failure, Clovis.
Good game. Coma in play. And then we would just make 3/3s forever that could block them. going first with what is only described as a relatively decent hand. Triome in play. We try to pull one more land so Passage can come in untapped with the Archon. Mono red sucks. It'd be cruel. We don't get the land, which means Passage in play. They didn't play anything, so the Casket doesn't have a target. No harm, no foul. All is well in the world. Mountain in play. It's definitely mono red. Rimrock Knight, okay. We're gonna Casket that. Let's take up lanes here. Activates the second within the Archon. Let's snag it. The Raven's Warning could have been okay as well. But ideally, you know, we do draw that fourth land, Archon goes in, and then we play Raven's Warning on top of it. This could be risky. So we can deal with it, but I want to get ahead of them, right? I don't want to always be playing catch-up. So they don't have snow, but they double shock us. Okay. Shock Bone Crusher. Let's get Raven's Warning out as soon as possible. The Elixir could deal with mono red in a good way. Shatter maybe. Elspeth for the life gain. That could deal with them. They're going wide. No blocks, 5 damage. I guess we will just take Shatter. Let's see their hand. Is there a cleave there? Of course there is. So we're just dead anyways. Oh no. They still have 6 mana up. These 3 Calixes in hand aren't doing much. It's not the time. And how did we draw all 3 of them? They top deck another Annex. Wow. We don't have the enchantment.
Nothing to fear from me.
Right, we don't have an enchantment for it. And we can't take the plus. Calix is not doing us any favors here. Good game. Going first, I do not mind. I do not mind. Should be okay. Triome in play. We have all of our land. Casket, Archon, Elspeth. Let's see how we get handled. Is it rogues? I certainly hope not. 2 Triomes in play. Low good game. With the hot skis. With the hot skis. Mountain in. Force out, pass turn. If they Valky, well, they would have Valkyed already if they had it. Maybe they Bone Crusher Giant us? Yeah, okay. It's all about the damage, man. Sure. Let's start thinning right away. We do have another Archon as well. Elspeth can bring them back. Worst case scenario next turn. Right? I'm worried about, oh, I don't know, the Acrone War. Right? What card does Rakdos always drop to ruin my life? It's the Acrone War. What did I say? Let's take it, just so they can't sack our Archon, right? You know they had a sack outlet. They're not just taking it for a couple hits. They're taking it and they're using it, and I'm not getting it back. So let's take it back right now. And that way, if something still does happen to it, we can pull it back again. They're playing Jund, which is interesting. And we sack. Okay. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Nice move, brah. Let's take it. Pawns out in play again. 2 cards in hand. Elspeth in play. They're at 6 available mana after they play a land. Looks pretty grim, I'll admit, but we've fought our way out of darker situations before. Right? We're gonna be okay. This is just fine. Oh, wow. They're gonna try to take those away from us. And they do get our Elspeth out from us, and that's gonna be a GG's as far as I'm concerned. It's a good play. But we're gonna take it. You know what I mean? We're at 17 life. You know, unless they have sack effects here in hand, like Soul Shatter, like the Lantern. Well, not even the Lantern. The Lantern we can just choose to lose life. But if they, you know, get the Archon here, that sucks. And we tap them. Not that big of a deal. They might, because their Elspeth triggers first, they might take Demon's Disciple out and kill their own God of Fright. That's a potential play for them, right? And then we're not getting it. So it is interesting. They're at 5 mana, 6 available as they play a land. They didn't last turn, so they might not have one, which could be even worse. That means there's 5 utility cards in hand. They claim the token. We sack the token because they would get it back. But they can't get the token is the thing, right? So that's a relatively terrible play that we dance through, right? Okay. That sucks. Another big draw for them. That's cool. We have that mana. I'm going to take that Elspeth. I'm going to hit. They can't attack. Kiora takes their God of Fright. You know, we went out on a pretty big risk. Bone Crusher. They could just Village Rites it. Rankle. They take our Archon. And they sack their Rankle. Okay. That's a thing. We lose our Casket, which doesn't matter. Kind of annoying. We take the God of Fright. Raven's Warning in play. We get the bird, their turn. They do have flying damage and life gain. We want them to attack, though. They have 2 cards left in hand. How we got around Tigrid, I'll never know. The Kroxa. But we get it back. And now it forces it on them. Nice. Okay. They can't play it yet. Next turn they can. Giant in play. No blocks. Down to 9. That sucks. We hit with the Raven. We take our draw. Oh, come on. Tome in play. Let's take a draw. We need something good. Some exile. Oh, more land. Brutal. So Kroxa is in play. We lose 3 life. Discard our land. Down to 6. We get hit by the Archon. Down to 3. We lose on the next turn as Kroxa attacks us. Unless we use the Tome to draw. Okay, so we have 8 available mana. Oh no, what was I doing? Oops. I whiffed that up. I should have thought about that more. 8 available mana, but you have to use 2 to draw HGG. Frig. That's on me. That's on me. I'm sorry. No attacks. If our bird survives... No, that's just game. We forced their discard at least. Oh, it was a Woe Strider. Full control. Oh, we were too slow. Bird blocks. We get the scry. Land goes. Stop. We take another scry here. Willow goes. Pass. Our turn. We might need the draw. We go down to 6. 6 casts everything but the Sea God. And the Sea God doesn't help us win. So let's take a double. Ravens helps us. ECD helps too. But they're going to recast this stupid thing. Oh, they don't have enough engrave. Okay, Elspeth Conquers Death in play. That can bring back Ugin, right? That's our priority. We deal with our own Archon. Next, no attacks, end turn. Woo! Woo, 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 wee! Now this is a match. Our turn. Land, of course. Raven's Warning goes out. Let's take a draw, gain some life. good. We might need to keep this and choose to discard it. No attacks. Let's hold on. We're playing control, right? We don't need to beat out this mid-range deck with damage. Let's just hold the phone. Let's slow this down a bit. Right? You know, Uganos is in play if they don't deal with Elspeth Conquers Death. Pass our turn. The giant can't attack. It is, though. Soul Shatter. Okay. So we just lose it. Our turn. Banishing Light is cool. Uggin's pretty cool too. I like that card. We can +2 on the giant. And then we're in with angels. We also get a draw here. Calix, about time. Been looking for you. Can't believe we survived. Just cannot believe it. Banishing Light can go. They both deal with it. There's so many good things here. It's Ugin -10. Why not? Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on! Let me play them! And then we had Alrund's Epiphany on top of that! Come on, bro! My bro! After that good of a match, you bail out when I'm about to go to Alpha Centauri with this deck. We are going to play everything. It's too bad we didn't have a Vorinclex in hand off that draw as well. And then Calix would have been able to immediately ultimate and bring back Ravens, like all of these enchantments from our graveyard. All the Elspeth Conquers Death, the Kyora. So you'll see it there, and it would have worked if, you know, we got Vorinclex and our opponent didn't leave. Sag. The deck's cool, though. I like it. Woof. That last game was incredible. I wish we got to finish. I wish we got to finish with Vorinclex. Because to -7 on Calix through Vorinclex via Uggin's minus ability, that's like a reverse Genesis ultimatum. Like, what's happening there? Regardless, it's a lot of fun. I'm having a great time, you know, still within Kaldheim. I know it's early. We probably have like 2 months left or something. So lots of time still to explore, but, you know, I'm not bored, right? I kind of found myself a little bit bored in Zendikar, and, you know, that's not happening this set, which is really cool. I don't know if it's just because the pool is building and it gets easier to build decks, right? But, you know, I'm digging it. I'm having fun. Let me know what you guys think. How's the set so far? Are you enjoying it? Are you like, wow, this is trash, I'm ready for Strixhaven? Or is it like, wow, this is actually better than Zendikar, I don't mind it. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you're on the live and we get 100 likes, we're going to give out $10 every single video. So show up live, like the video, win yourself $10, complete your collection on my dime. That's like $640 a month. Right? From me to you. Thank you guys so much. I'll drag this out so we can get a couple more likes so we can hit that 100 mark. But of course, that happens every video, so it's no worries. Just learn that it is there and you can partake in it if you want. Cheers. We're getting pretty close. We got to like 70 a couple videos in a row, 75 or 80 even. So like the video, help support the channel, leave a comment so I can pick you as one of the winners. And of course, go watch another video, right? Put a playlist on. Let it run in another tab. You have no idea how much this actually helps me. Cheers, you guys. I'll see you in the Discord, and we'll be back, of course, in 11 hours. Take care.